Round one. Fight!
So it looks like my intro from last week got queued up. I don't know what happened to the one this week. It's not showing up. So, but welcome to Team Ranker Fights. We are going to be doing best movie sequels of all time. You'll see that. So if I go like this. So I'm going to bring in my panel of guests. We got a pretty awesome panel today. So I'm going to bring in first my co-host, Austin. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you? Great to be here on Tier Ranker Fights this evening, although I have to admit I don't have anything else to do or nowhere to go because there's no gas in my town. So what better to do than stay here and be on Tier Ranker Fights? So, yeah, great to be here.
Dang. So you're having one of those gas shortages. Crazy. That's like going on back east, I guess. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle of it in North Carolina. So, yeah, it's the one that's being hit the hardest right now, for sure.
Man. Yeah, I heard Rhode Island was like completely out of gas, the whole state for a little bit. So, crazy.
Right.
But and then also joining us, we have Paige Fabretti, the Boston badass. How are you doing?
Hey, no, I'm happy to be in. Talk best movie sequels with y'all. So, it'll be a good one. And for the gas shortage, I mean, thank God I have half a tank in my Jeep, so we'll run out anytime.
I've got a half a tank right now. I can really only go like back and forth to work for the next week and a half, maybe, and then I'm out of luck. So we'll see what happens the next week or so. But yeah,
the fun times we live in. And then I'm gonna bring up my fourth guest. We got Jeff Sneider. How's it going?
Hello, thanks for having me, Jordan. Beep, beep, get in the Jeep, Paige.
Hey.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, so basically we'll just kind of jump into it, but how things work is we have a little tier ranker chart that I'm going to bring up here in just a second, and we're going to rank the best movie sequels on a scale of S being superior, and then just goes A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. Kind of like grades in school. And then we also have some rules for the show that just kind of help things stay a little more organized.
Jeff don't like rules. There's going to be a challenge.
Right. I might have one. But the rules are, let's have a good, clean fight. Please do not talk or shout above each other. Please do be respectful of others' opinions. Each person will take turns to select a movie for ranking. The person who selected the movie will have 1 minute to explain which tier they think it should go in and why. All other participants will then each have 1 minute to say why they agree or disagree and may suggest a new ranking. The host, which is me, will decide on a ranking that averages out everyone's opinions and asks if the proposed ranking is acceptable. And at that point, we can have a little bit of a debate as to like where we think it should go. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. And I'm going to bring up our tier ranker chart. Give me one quick minute, and I'll get that up there. Let's see. Here we go. Should be there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So basically, this is how it works. So you see all the tiers there, and then there's also a tier for haven't seen, but I think pretty much there's at least one person that's seen each and every one of these movies. I would imagine, but I throw that in there just in case. And then you can see the movies here. If you have any questions on what the movies are, you can ask me because the icons are a little small. And usually I try. I didn't do it beforehand, but I usually try to. I'm going to see if I can bring it up real quick. I like to put the all of our list of choices in the private chat, so that way that for those of us that are participating, we can see that. So I apologize for not having that ready before we went live, but basically we'll just kind of jump into it, and I'll get that in the private chat as we go. But so as the host, I usually will elect to go last, so I let everyone else go first, and we usually start from the bottom and move upwards. So Jeff, you're at the bottom, so if you want to pick something from the list first.
All right, I'm flattered that we're gonna start with me.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you have anything you want to fight for here? I'll make it slightly bigger, but yeah, just
right.
pick one and then give your little argument and where you would want to rank it.
All right, here we go. I'd like to nominate for the A grade tier. This is an A grade sequel.
All right.
And that would be Wayne's World 2.
All right. Now I got to find it in the list. If you guys see it, let me know.
Kind of near the bottom middle.
As a teenager, loving Wayne's World 2 to the extent where I wasn't quite sure whether it was, in fact, better than the original Wayne's World. Now, I don't know if I want to get carried away. I don't think I can go too far. But I loved, like, the Jim Morrison character and the stagehand who's like, I had to get, 1,000 brown M&Ms or else he wouldn't go on stage that night. I had to beat it to death with its own shoes. Yeah, I love that. I loved Kim Basinger. She is a fantastic romantic foil for Garth. It's great to see Christopher Walken in this. I love like the Mrs. Robinson stuff there towards the end, and like the banging on the wedding doors because I'm that kind of psycho who would probably do that. Yeah, I just love everything about Wayne's World 2, even Wayne's stock. It's great to see some cool bands in there that I like. Friggin' Drew Barrymore's in this movie. Kiergan from this, whatever that is. It's fantastic. Wayne's World 2 gets an A in my book. What about you?
Yeah, so we'll just go on the horn, see what everybody thinks. So Paige, you're up. What do you think of Wayne's World? Where would you rank it?
I mean, honestly, I think it is like one of the few that like are actually better than the original film. So I mean, I'm down to put it at tier grade number A. I mean, Wayne's World, man, you can never go wrong with that flick. So
no, for sure. Yeah, Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I can't really argue against an A tier for Wayne's World 2, if that makes any sense. I think to me, both of those are kind of on the same level. But both being like an A level. So, do you pick Wayne's World 1, Wayne's World 2? I don't know. I like both of them. I dig all the little cameos in the movie. The T-1000 Robert Patrick cameo is great when they get pulled over. The Wayne stock stuff is a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I've seen it, to be honest, but I remember really, really liking it. But again, I can't argue against an A level, so I'm fine with A.
Pez, how great is Kevin Pollak in it, where he's like,
Kevin Pollak.
Eye?
Yeah, I totally forgot he was even in that movie. Crazy.
There's so many cameos and like people that show up in that movie. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
But for me, Wayne's World is a movie that I grew up with. I freaking love Wayne's World, and like for me, I would even put it in an S tier. Like I think it is one of those rare comedies that's actually where the sequel's better than the original. I mean, I think that they're pretty close, but I actually prefer the sequel. There's just so many awesome moments. Like you have when they sing Bohemian Rhapsody in the car. You have Garth getting his first pube. You have
Bohemian Rhapsody is the first movie though.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh, you're right. That is the first movie. Okay, because I always think about that because they like he's like telling the recap and they get in the car and drive. So, but and then also they have the whole like kung fu scene where it's like dubbed or whatever, and
yeah, that is good.
To fight fight her father in the movie. So yeah, so I mean for all those reasons and probably like tons more that I didn't even mention, I put it in the S tier. So, but I think though, based on the majority, I think that that's probably going to stay in the A tier because we got 3 A's and an S. So that's a good case for A tier. So
all right,
we'll leave it there. Yep. So it'll stay in the A tier. And I did paste all the or copy and paste all the movies in the private chat. It just showed up as one big blob of movies. That's just how it does it. But it is there if you want to look at it. But Paige, you are up. So you want to?
Ooh, what do I want to choose? I think I might go with a hot take on this one. This one just might be my own opinion because honestly, the first flick in this franchise, I guess you'd say, is probably one of my top 5 favorite films of all time. I'm gonna go with Scream 2, and I'm gonna put it at the C ranking.
Scream 2. Okay, let me.
I mean, they did my boy Randy wrong. All I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
the man that made the rules, that follows the rules, dies. Like, come on. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just, for some reason, when I think of Scream, like, for me, it was obviously the first one's like up here, and then it just goes all the way down. Like, I personally think I like Scream 4 better than Scream 2. I mean, obviously it's better than Scream 3. But yeah, I mean, let's be for real. The killer should have been Cotton Wary in this one, not the mom. Like, it was just all over the place in this, and at the call, it's just all over the place. But I don't know. What do you guys think of this?
Well, Austin, you think?
I like Scream 2. I don't love Scream 2, just because I think Scream is such a like S-level 90s horror movie that it set such a bar that it was kind of hard even for Wes Craven to even follow it. But I do enjoy Scream 2. To me, it's more like a high B, low A type movie. I don't think it's like a C. I think that's kind of harsh. Like C is more reserved for Scream 3 for me. Like Scream 3 is like another step down from Scream 2, just personally. But I mean, look, Randy dies, but he should have sat himself in the middle of that park in the middle of everybody instead of wandering around by himself. So he didn't follow his own rules. So you know what? He dies. But I like all the stuff where they're talking about the rules of the sequels, that has to be bigger and bloodier and badder than the original. I wish they would have gone with Timothy Olyphant as like a soul killer instead of what's her name, like the mom, was pretty bad. But yeah, like and having Cotton not have something to do with it was weird. But yeah, so to me it's more like a B level. I don't go as harsh as a C.
Yeah. And for me, it's been so long since I've seen Scream 2. Like I've seen Scream 1 probably like 50 times. I've seen it a lot, but Scream 2 is not one that I particularly go back to. But I mean, it is a pretty fun movie, and I really like the cast. I mean, you got Sarah Michelle Gellar coming in there, Liev Schreiber, Timothy Olyphant in there. So I mean, you got some cool cast members in there. It's the only
Scream movie you see Jane Pinkett Smith dying too. So I mean,
right.
And a movie theater. They did her dirty.
You just hit the nail on the head right there. Is that opening sequence is actually when you're going up against, you have to follow that Drew Barrymore sequence in Scream. Mm-hmm. So there's some big shoes to fill. And I do really like that Jada Pinkett and Omar Epps scene in the movie theater with Stab. I just thought it was a lot of fun. I think people were excited to be in that theater, and then it sort of put you in the theater with them. I think that you're being way harsh for Betty, and I would give this a B. I agree with Pez. This is a B-level sequel.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'd give it about a B too. So I mean, yeah.
But it is apropos that in that movie, in that classroom, they have a discussion about sequels that might be better than the original, just like we're doing right here. So it's very appropriate for the conversation.
Yeah, this definitely doesn't touch a hair on the head. I'm with Paige. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. But I find this to be a worthy sequel. It was entertaining, and I think that because in that first movie you're expecting one killer. And then you get two killers. Mm-hmm. That you're like, oh, the sequel would never do that again. And you're just expecting one killer. And then they repeated the trick again. And I think that they got you. Yeah.
Malcolm chiming in.
Guess no one agrees with my hot take,
Yeah.
but whatever, guys.
Super Betty.
Well, so we got 2 B's and 2 C's, but usually I'll give a little sway to the person
Wait,
who
who
actually
gave it the
chose
other
it for their
C?
time.
No, we all had B's and 1 C,
Yeah.
so it goes
3
to B.
B's for 1 C.
Oh, you said B, Brian. Okay. I mean Austin. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no,
So,
it goes in like a high
Jordan is
B.
not
Yeah.
a math teacher.
yeah. Oh, okay. So then, in that case, then yep. Sorry, Paige.
This is why I'm the co-host. Jordan
Yep.
can attest. This is why I'm the co-host. I try to pay attention to these things a little harder. So
Yeah, he helps
I
me
keep everything in check.
Yeah, keep things in check and in order. Yeah, while
That's
I'm
right.
like running all the technical stuff. But yeah. So now it's Austin's turn. So we'll.
All right.
Let you
So
pick
do
one.
I
What do you
go with
got?
something fairly obvious, or do I kind of shoot for the fences like y'all have been doing? I think I'll start with something obvious, and then we'll get something crazy. I'll go with my favorite movie of all time, and that's Aliens. And Jordan knows this. So
Oh yeah.
Aliens is S tier.
See, where's it at?
It's up at the top row.
Top row. Oh, there you go.
There you go. I don't know if I'm gonna have to fight super hard for this. I think it's fairly obvious. I mean, we've got a movie that. Oh yeah. Because as much as there's always Aliens, depending on your personal preference any given day, Aliens just to me succeeds in every way. It has amazing direction from James Cameron. It has a phenomenal Oscar-nominated performance from Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, a incredible score from James Horner, an amazing cast of characters that you get to know almost immediately. And by the end of the movie, you know their names, you know exactly who they are. Not many movies can do that, where you know even the names of some of the mid-level characters and you fall in love with them. Just an incredible movie all around. That's just a mix of horror and action and sci-fi that just grips you to your seat. I mean, halfway through, you're just locked into the movie. You have no idea what's going to happen if you've never seen it before. And it has the amazing almost double ending, with both the kind of ending when they're flying away from the planet and the real ending with the loader. So just an incredible sequel that James Cameron, he did his thing, and in my opinion, still his best movie.
Well, all right, yeah, and I do want to say, because I forgot to say it up top when we got started. So we're only allowing 10 movies in the S tier. So we got to come with the top 10, and then all the rest will be fair game. So we got to keep that in mind when we're building our top 10. There will
be 10 movies in the S tier. I don't know about that.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see.
I mean, I'm grading hard. You guys are just not agreeing with me.
So. Yeah, you never know. But
we pull stuff from the A tier up to the S tier to make a top 10 if needed at the end. So it doesn't necessarily mean we get 10 S tier. We come up with just a top 10 from the list, essentially.
Yeah, whatever it is, our top 10 in this list. Yeah, but I do want to confess that so I just watched Aliens for the first time yesterday in preparation for this show. So I'm brand new. I'm like fresh off of it, and like
I don't even know what he thought of it. He didn't even text me, so I have no idea.
Well, I absolutely loved it, and especially that iconic line at the end, "Get away from her, you bitch!" At the end, I thought that was perfect at the end, and I thought that Aliens blows the first Aliens out of the water. It's just so much more fun, so much more action, so much more that these characters get to do, and I don't know what the deal is with Bill Paxton's character, though. He's kind of a wuss in that movie. Hey, what's going on, man? What's gonna happen? He was kind of funny to me. I don't know. I couldn't really take him too serious, but I mean, I still thought that it was great overall. I would probably give it an S tier too. I think that it was great. I don't know. It's hard to say if it would go at the top of S tier, but I mean, because we will give the top 10 an official ranking at the end, put it in an actual order. But I mean, yeah, I'm on board with Aliens being an S tier though. So yeah. But what do you think, Jeff, for Aliens?
Well, they stuck an S on the title, didn't they? So I guess it belongs in the S tier.
There you go, Jeff.
Yep, yeah. For sure.
Obviously, one of the great sequels. James Cameron, he came in and he did his own thing with it, which I think is something you have to do as a sequel. You can't just repeat what came before it. That spells doom and death. James Cameron, he opened it up, made it bigger. It's more of an action movie than a horror movie, and I love the way that he cast it. Paul Reiser, was it Jeanette Goldstein? Is that it, Pez?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as Vasquez. Yeah, she's one of the great badass female characters along with Ripley.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, this movie is awesome. Newt is a good storyline, and yeah, that ending is fantastic. So absolutely S tier all the way. Aliens, thumb up.
Yeah, and Paul Reiser's character, he's just a heartless bastard.
He's one of the best Weasley corporate guys in any movie ever. Just one of the best corporate weasels.
Yeah,
he's so
right.
great.
But Paige, what do you think?
I mean, this isn't even a question. This movie deserves to be in that S tier. This is like top of the top, one of the best sequels. Kind of like you guys all said, like what James Cameron did with this film was he took what was already such an amazing film, one of the best films like ever created, and did his own thing with it. And it shows that it's probably one of the best sequels ever created. So. And my girl Ridley is a badass bitch. I hope I can swear. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're totally fine. Yep, and someone who's only seen I've seen Aliens 1 and 2, and then Alien versus Predator and Alien Covenant, but I missed some of the ones in the middle. So like I'm always wondering like if they would make a direct sequel to Aliens. Like if I don't know how good Aliens 3 is, if that's a word.
They talked about it with Neil Blomkamp like a few years back, but it kind of fell through doing like a direct sequel, sort of like the new Halloween did with the original Halloween.
Yeah,
but
right.
It just never came. Ridley Scott is like, no, I'm not done with my Alien movies, and you can't have it till I'm done with it. So it's probably not going to happen. Yeah,
I remember that when the whole Neil Blomkamp stuff. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
But
Jordan, it's your turn.
With David Fincher, personally.
Oh yeah. There you go. That'd be an interesting take.
Being ignored.
Yep. But for me, so I got to go with a little bit of a hot take here because this is one that I just watched this week in preparation, and like I'm not really I'll just preface this with saying I'm not a huge like drama guy. I mean, I like dramas, like don't get me wrong, but when it's just like I don't know, like sometimes they get a little slow when it's all character work and not enough like I don't know like other stuff going on. Like I just need like action or comedy, or I need something in there, or some like more tense moments. So I'm gonna go with The Godfather Part 2.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Jordan.
And I'm probably gonna give it about a C for me. I just wasn't like super impressed. Like I mean, I understand like why people love this movie and why people think that it's great, but like the whole series overall is just kind of slow for me, and it just kind of, I mean, like it's not a bad movie, but I wouldn't say great. It's a movie that I liked, but I didn't love. So I'll just say that. And I mean, I thought that like Al Pacino stole the show though. Like he's amazing, and you got Robert De Niro in there too. So I mean, there's definitely some powerhouses in there, but I mean, I got to give it a C. I'm gonna see if I'm in the minority. Probably am, but we'll see what you guys think. What do you think, Jeff?
I mean, I'm not even a Godfather guy, and you're crazy.
Stole the words out of my mouth.
I mean, I think just objectively, like this has to be an S tier movie.
Mm-hmm.
Picture, I actually remember, because again, I'm not a big Godfather guy. I actually remember liking Godfather 2 more than Godfather. So this could very well be. It's not the best sequel ever made, in my opinion, but it pretty much has to be a top 3. I don't know how you argue against that. I agree the movies are a little slow, but I don't know. There's something about the De Niro of it all. There was a certain richness to everything. Come on, that's an S.
Yeah, like I kind of figured it's gonna land up here, so I'm just gonna put it there for now. But Paige, what do you think?
I mean, like Jeff said too, like I'm honestly not the biggest like Godfather like fan. Like they're amazing films, but like it's not like, hey, it's a Tuesday night, let's go watch The Godfather Part 2 real quick and spend 3.5 hours. But I mean, no, I mean this movie deserves to be up there, and it kind of is. Like to me, I like it better than the original. I mean, you got RD in there, man. Robert De Niro is the shit, so it deserves to be in the S spot. So,
Well, Austin, what do you think? Would you agree?
Yeah, sorry, Jordan. This is an S tier movie. Like it's easily top 3 or top 5 or what. It's going to end up in the top of the top right there because I watched all 3 of them recently, actually, because Roku was doing it on Cinephile, so I rewatched them pretty recently. And yeah, I mean, depending on the day, whether I prefer 1 or 2, it kind of just depends on what mood I'm in. I kind of am in the camp of preferring the first one, but it doesn't mean Godfather 2 is any less of a masterpiece. Like it's still a masterpiece of a movie. And it's still one of the greatest sequels of all time. I just prefer 1 only because the story to me is a little more interesting with Michael's kind of descent into the mafia than him already being in it in the second one, just for me personally. But Godfather 2, the De Niro stuff is incredible. Just the set pieces in that movie and everything. And Al Pacino he should have got the Oscar for it. I'm not sure why he didn't, but he just should have. Absolutely. It's a S-level movie. It's like top 3 or 4 of the list we're probably going to put together.
Well, all right. Yeah, well, leave it in S because I totally get it why it should be in the S. So. And we have a late comer to the game. Hey, Mark. Welcome.
Sorry, everybody. I come and go like a fox.
Right. Like a fox in the night. Nice. Well,
this is good timing, Mark? Because Jordan just went, so it can go right back around to Mark, and Mark can nominate his first movie.
Yeah.
So there you go. Perfect.
Yeah, you can kind of see what we have ranked. We've only done 4, so we haven't gotten too far. But do you want to pick one, a movie that you like, and give it a ranking, Mark?
Well, so before the meeting, there was some talk about Rush Hour 2. Yeah. And how it should be off the list. But I say it should remain on the list. And there it is. So
yeah.
Now I'm not necessarily picking the S tiers at the moment. So
okay. No, that's all right.
So for Rush Hour,
put it anywhere you want.
It's like a buddy cop show that has 2 characters that you wouldn't typically see together, and especially when it was made. And I think Rush Hour 2 it increased the action of Rush Hour, and it was funny just the action between the man from Hong Kong and the man from America, and it's great. I don't know. It was a great movie. I love all Jackie Chan movies. Some of them are very corny, but Rush Hour was one of the original Rush Hour is one of those first ones where he had to learn English and work with an American crew. And with the American crew, they were able to amp up his quality of his movie. So with that, I say A.
All right. Got an A tier. And yeah, I know that you're a huge Jackie Chan fan, Mark. You've probably seen almost all of his movies. So
yeah.
So yeah. Well, that's awesome. But Jeff, what do you think for Rush Hour?
I mean, I don't really remember Rush Hour 2 very much, to be honest. It's a little forgettable. If I had, I don't think it's like a terrible movie. I don't think it shouldn't have been on, but it's like a B- C+ in my book. So I think it's kind of on the line between the B and C tier. You seem to be a big fan of it, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I got to cast my vote for a B.
All right, we got a B. Paige, what do you think?
I mean, I almost just choked on my mozzarella stick when I heard A tier. But yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, those 3 movies all get jumbled up with me. But I'm just gonna go with the C tier. Gonna be nice on this one. Play it safe.
All right. Well, Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I've seen Rush Hour 1 and 2 quite a few times. I tend to, when it comes down to it, prefer the first one, only because I think it has a better dynamic between the two, with Jackie Chan coming over to America for the first time and the kind of communication issues they have, and just Chris Tucker, just being all crazy next to him, and just I like their buddy dynamic just a little more in the first one. I think it amounted to a few more classic scenes than the second one did, and the second one just took that premise of like, well, we'll just put them in 10 different locations for this one and just see what jokes we can get out of them being, you know, on a yacht or in Las Vegas or, you know, in this setting or that setting. And I think they throw more jokes per minute, but I think more hit in the original film, and I think some of the action scenes are better in the original film as well. So for me, original Rush Hour is like an A, and Rush Hour 2 is like low B, just for me personally.
We got Brian chiming in, so another vote for C. But I mean, for me, like I actually love this movie, and the reason why is because when I first got into doing movie editing, so I've been doing that kind of stuff ever since high school, and one of the very first projects I ever did was just making this big comedy kind of montage with like all the funniest moments from a bunch of different movies. And so I had a bunch of clips from Rush Hour in there, and actually like just seeing all those comedy bits from Chris Tucker, especially just like back to back to back, like I was just crying laughing, like it just cracked me up. Like he was like, "That's Ricky Tan." There's like a midget in a bathrobe, or like just all those like just crazy lines that he said. Or like when he's at the casino and he's just like being in the distraction for Jackie Chan while he sneaks into the little hideout or whatever. So I mean, I think that it's fun. I mean, for a comedy, I would want to give it A because I think that it's like great. But as an action comedy, I kind of bump it down a notch to probably B tier. So I think B is about right for me. So yeah, I think that's.
I'll put it this way: even if you went A, if there were 2 A's and 2 C's and a B, it was going to wind up at a B anyways.
Yeah,
right.
So
yeah, I think B is about
somewhere in high
right.
B sounds fair.
Yeah, sounds like it's a B overall.
Yeah.
I think you guys are crazy.
Not a bad spot for it, but
Hey, I'm with you. It could be a C easily, but you know what? We're being nice.
Yes.
Right.
We'll be us Bostonians will be nice today, even though I'm being mean.
Yep. All right.
What are you talking about, Jeff? It's on the same level as The Godfather 2, didn't you know? I mean, they're like next to each other.
It's on the same level. Right.
I'll tell you the other obvious movie on the level of Godfather 2 and Aliens, and that is James Cameron's Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Put it in the S club.
S.
It is one of the greatest action movies ever made.
S.
Visual effects totally hold up. Linda Hamilton, maybe the toughest, most badass female ever on screen, certainly in the top 5. Arnold Schwarzenegger, amazing, dropping all kinds of quotable one-liners. Edward Furlong, what 12-year-old boy did not want to be Edward Furlong, who was just the coolest. Robert Patrick, incredible villain, amazing score. Everything about this movie is perfection. Mwah, S.
Yeah,
we might be able to save some time here. Does anybody disagree with us?
Right, exactly.
Definitely.
Stole the words out of my mouth.
This movie goes above and beyond S. So yeah. I don't know what's above S, but
I think
it's tier all around.
Of all time.
Yeah,
I think it is one of the best. Yeah, definitely.
I saw that movie like a
objects.
week ago, and I was looking at it and just looking at the visual effects and like thinking about the time it was made, and just definitely like looking back at it, saying, I like seeing it's a really quality movie. It was like a groundbreaking movie. So, yep, S.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll just save some time and throw it in S tier. And we'll
S is all around.
Yep.
Keep it rolling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Paige is up.
Just that easy. So, Paige, what do you got?
I mean, do I want to go with an S tier? Because I feel like everyone's throwing S tiers out there now.
We can get a few of them out there and then have some fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's fun sometimes to just pick those kind of bad or mid-level ones.
Yeah, this isn't an S tier for me, but I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm going to go with Kill Bill Volume 2 as tier A. And Quentin Tarantino is my favorite director. But I mean, is it really I don't know. Is it a sequel? Because you could just watch the whole bloody affair and it's just one long movie.
Right. Like it's kind of one of those.
I don't know. Should I put this in the top I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, pick
I
one and
mean,
make an argument. You never know. Some people might agree with you and disagree. I mean,
Yeah,
just go
I
for it if
mean-
you want to go for it.
It's a badass action flick. I mean, you got the Diva Squad in here kicking ass, taking names. The bride, Uma Thurman, is one of the most memorable female characters I think in any Hollywood film. And I mean, it's a Tarantino flick, so you can't go wrong there. But I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know if I should put it in the S or the A category. So hopefully you guys are all there with me on that one.
Here you go. This is for the last one, T2.
All right.
From Malcolm. So he has a hot take. He says
Oh,
C,
Malcolm, that is
which
a
is
hot
like
Malcolm, you're,
That is
that's a
a
really
wrong
hot take,
take,
dude.
right?
that's a hot
In the
poo
minority.
take right there.
Go watch Terminator Salvation and Terminator Genesis, and then tell me Terminator 2 is like not S tier. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kill Bill Volume 2, I think definitely deserves to be in the A tier, maybe even the S tier. It's a badass action flick with a bunch of strong female characters, and it's a Tarantino movie. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with the Tarantino movie, but Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I have a hard time. I always, and this is another one where I debate. I love both of them, but like, do I any given day, Volume 1, Volume 2? I don't know, because I love the stuff in Volume 1 where she's just plowing through each member very quickly, kind of in succession, and then fighting the crazy 88s and all the crazy bloody madness of that scene. But then on some days I prefer the stuff in Volume 2, which is kind of the slower moments, the more heavy dialogue stuff with her and David Carradine, excuse me, and just the conversations they have, and like her trying to get out of the coffin, and like some of the lower level stuff. I'm in the mood for that. I don't know, because see, again, it's hard to argue against an S tier 4 because I think it's one of Tarantino's best. But I think given my just slight preference for Volume 1 over Volume 2, I'd argue for like a high A and maybe put it like near the honorable mentions at the end of our discussion. We'll see. So I'll just argue for high A.
All right, because we will have 3 honorable mentions at the end, so it may end up there, but I have a little bit of a confession. This is one of the Tarantino movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen Kill Bill, so that's one that's high on my list. I know I definitely need to see it, but so I'm going to refrain. I'm not going to give a ranking. We'll just move on to the next person. But Mark, have you seen it? What do you think?
From what I've seen of it, it's a good flick, but I haven't seen it all, so I can't give it a score.
Well, Jeff,
Mind-boggling, guys. My head's exploding from you guys saying this.
I'm going to be the voice of dissent.
Ooh.
I like Kill Bill Volume 2, but I would give it a B+, and that puts it in the B category by definition. The movie is 2 hours and 18 minutes, which is nearly a full half hour longer than Volume 1. I do not think it is as good as Volume 1. I think that I like the stuff with Bud and with Elle Driver, but when it comes to actually killing Bill, I found the last 45 minutes of this movie curiously uninvolving. And even though it has its moments, it's no better than B range to me.
All right.
Well, so we got
So we got like 2 A's
B.
and a B. So I think it kind of goes low A, like for right now. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
Can you?
that's fair. Yeah.
Is there an in between slot you put it in, or?
It's not really right now. We kind of slide them around here and there, and we kind of see where they.
Let's put it this way. Are we saying Kill Bill Volume 2 is better than Wayne's World 2, or which one has the edge in the A tier?
Right.
Oh yeah, that is true. I mean,
We may argue that later. We'll argue that later, not right now.
Yeah. We'll get to it, but yeah. So Austin, you're up. So
So let's see. I'm kind of looking through the list and seeing what we got. Let's talk about the Road Warrior.
All right, let's see. Let me find it now. I know it's on here.
I'm looking too. Hang on a second.
You see it?
Where is it?
If anyone sees it, shout it out, because we know I put it on here. If not, we'll have to talk about it. No, it's my bad, but
go back up a little bit.
Oh yeah, Here it is. Right there.
There you
Yeah, right there.
go.
Yeah.
Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. There you go.
Yeah, it doesn't say
You know
Road
what?
Warrior, but it says Mad Max.
I'm gonna shoot for it and go S and see what happens. So I'm gonna debate for an S and,
Right.
and then we'll see what happens after that. So Jeff, you were mentioning a sequel that does something different from the original, and I think this is one of the purest examples of that, because if you go back and watch the original Mad Max from '79, it's like more of this road kind of grindhousey exploitation movie, just about him fighting these gangs. It's not really the dystopian apocalyptic movie that we see in the Road Warrior, but I think the Road Warrior just took it to another level. And what George Miller did with that movie in setting up this kind of apocalyptic nightmare where, ironically enough, everybody's looking for gas right now, and kind of is just, it's become the new currency, so to speak. And you throw this guy Max in the middle of it, and he is just, the creativity of this movie for me is just on another level. And obviously we see the influences, it's hard to argue, like, is it better than Mad Max Fury Road? I don't know, but we're not talking about Fury Road. We're talking about the Road Warrior. And it's what he does with some of those chase sequences is incredible. The creativity of the cars that they put together, just the outfits, the direction, everything about this movie is just so cool and just so unique and badass and creative that it was just something we had never seen before of the Road Warrior. So I think the performances are unique. They're a lot of fun. I'm shooting for it. Mad Max Road Warrior is an S-level sequel that absolutely is superior to the original film in a lot of ways, and was the best Mad Max movie up until Fury Road. So I'm going to argue for it.
Well, I mean, this is my confession part 2, is that I have not seen the Road Warrior, which is sad because I literally have Fury Road poster back here behind me, but I haven't seen any of the other Mad Max movies, which are another ones that are high on my list. I have a huge list of movies I got to get to, but so I'm gonna stay out of this one again. So, but Mark, what do you think? Have you seen Mad Max? What do you think?
Lots of cars, lots of explosions. So I like that part of it, but I don't think it's an S tier. I'd put it lower. I'd put it an A or B. Maybe if I had watched the original or the Mad Max, I'd be more into it. That's my take.
All right. Jeff, what do you think?
I'm going to give it an A, but not the A you're thinking of. It's an A for abstain, because I don't think I've ever seen the Road Warrior.
You never seen the Road Warrior, Jeff?
What?
Mad Max, but yeah, I think I saw that original Mad Max, and I was like, I get it.
Right.
Sorry, nothing from me.
I'm just asking, do you like Fury Road? Have you seen Fury Road?
Yeah, and I liked Fury Road, but I am definitely not one of the people who thought Fury Road is the greatest movie ever made, or they should have won Best Picture, or anything like that. I think that's insane. There's no story in the movie. They just go one direction and then they turn around and come back.
Mm-hmm.
You might like Road Warrior better because there's actually a little more story to it. So, but and it's like all the same cool car stunts, but he did it 40 years previously with less money and less of a time to do it. So it's really incredible to watch. But anyways,
I may go back and watch Mad Max 2 because of this very podcast.
Awesome.
Well, then we'll move on to Paige. What do you think of the Road
Honestly,
Warrior?
I think I've seen this movie.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that says much, but yeah, I do remember lots of explosions and cars and traveling. I don't know. For me, I'd go with a B. I don't think it's out of the movies we have listed, I don't think this is a superior sequel.
It's only because you guys haven't seen it or haven't seen it recently.
Well, if I don't remember, then
yeah,
that's a sign.
All right, Jordan, to be fair, we'll do this. We'll put it in the haven't seen category because I'm the only one who nominated it really actually for anything. So maybe we'll put it aside for now. I mean, I'll be fair and put it aside for now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
One. The majority,
because you can't just put it in an S tier just because of me, and like everybody else either can't remember it or hasn't seen it. So
that's very nice of you, because I would have been like, damn, you guys, it's staying up there.
Yeah, right.
No, it's all right. I'm a fair guy.
All
But
right.
maybe I got some people to go watch it now. So, there you go. I'm okay with that.
I'm aware of its reputation as an excellent movie. I'd have no problem, putting it on the A tier.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's all right.
So let's
All right,
see.
Jordan.
I gotta say which one I want to go for. If I want to go for an S tier, if I want to go for kind of like a mid-level one. So we'll do one that I think we definitely have to talk about. So, but I have a slightly different take probably than most people, but it's not far off. I think I'm gonna go with Empire Strikes Back. So I wouldn't put it in an S tier. I don't think that it's quite the movie that like everyone says that it is. Like it's just like on some pedestal as far as Star Wars movies go. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie overall, but that being said, I would still put it in an A tier. I think that's a fitting spot for me. But maybe I would have liked it better if I would have seen it in its original run in theaters. Like it was just before my time when it was released in theaters, so I didn't get that big reveal that like everyone had in the theaters that like means so much to a lot of people, I guess. But I mean, I still have a lot of love for this movie. I think it's great. I definitely love me some Star Wars, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. But we'll see what you guys think.
You didn't see it at special edition?
Well, I saw it in theaters. Like I saw like the like special edition when they showed them in theaters. I have seen the original trilogy in theaters, but not like not in its original run though. So I feel like that kind of gives it a little more specialness for some people. But what do you think, Mark? I know you're a big Star Wars guy, so what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan. It's not my favorite movie. I'd say that'd be Return of the Jedi, but
same. It's the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great movie. Another one I've seen recently. When I work out at the gym, I just see lots of different random movies that pop up. So anyway,
You watch movies while you work out? Good for you, man. I mean, I don't even work out, but
so they were playing it for the May 4th. May the 4th be with you. So they were playing it on TV, and I was and when I was watching that, I was thinking to myself, like, what would it have been like to be that group of people to see it for the first time, and in that moment when Lando is standing by the door and it opens up, and there is Darth Vader at the end of the table. Like, wow, that would have been like a big shock. So anyway, that was just one of the great moments in the movie. And you see Luke as he does his training. I'd say solid S tier, and definitely brought a lot to the franchise.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think, Jeff?
I am not a Star Wars guy. I do think Return of the Jedi is the best one. I know. I'm sorry. We can't be together.
you lost it now. I thought we had something, but guess not.
I would personally go B, but I also acknowledge that it's probably an S tier for most movies, which is why I think an A spot is probably the right landing place for it on this list. But for my voting purposes, I have to go B.
All right. Well, we'll see. Paige, what do you think?
Well, I think Jeff is on crack, and
True, it's fair.
This is the best Star Wars movie, guys, hands down. No pun intended, because it loses a hand. But no, S tier all day. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I mean, I have several Star Wars tattoos. Bam, Rebellion for life.
Nice.
Yes, S tier all day. This is the best Star Wars film. So,
all right, Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, Empire's an S. I mean, come on. It's S tier Star Wars. It's S tier sequel. And a lot of sequels in the following years were compared to Empire Strikes Back. Well, is it going to be the Empire Strikes Back of the series? Even to this day, is Last Jedi going to be the Empire Strikes Back of the new trilogy? Et cetera, et cetera. It's one of those movies that we what we just talk about when we talk about great sequels. I mean, yes, Return of the Jedi is all our favorites when we're children, and then we grow up and realize that Empire is the best movie because it's the best written, and it's the best directed. So, you know, because we realize that it has great drama, it has great romance, it has great character moments, it has, in my opinion, the best action scene of the whole series, which is the Hoth action scene. You have great stakes, you have a phenomenal cliffhanger, just great reveals. It has everything you could pretty much want in a darker tone sequel that does things differently than the original, and yet still does some things the same. So to me, yeah, it's absolutely an S tier. It's Empire Strikes Back, man. It's S tier Star Wars.
Well, we've got 3 arguments for the S tier, so I think it goes to S.
I think it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we'll leave it there, and we'll move on. We'll move back to Mark. You want to pick one? What do you got? A lot of decisions, or a lot of choices.
I just saw you put "Look Who's Talking To" on there,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering how that made it to the list.
That's all Jeff. Jeff. He's a big Roseanne fan. He loves that movie.
Yeah.
But no, I'll let him deal with that then. And I will go with Back to the Future 2. So
all right. Let's see.
Back to the Future, they had very different tones in the 3 movies, based on the time that they were at. It's further down.
Here it is. Okay.
I love the way that they interpreted the future, back in the 80s, the things that would be there. Jordan and I dressed up as Back to the Future for Comic-Con. He had the skateboard, the hoverboard. We're still trying to make a real hoverboard. And the movie, it's not as good as the original. It's an entertaining movie. It seems a little shorter. I would rank it a B.
All right. We got a B. So, Jeff, what do you think?
Can't remember a goddamn thing about this movie. Abstain.
Really? All right. Fair enough. We can move to Paige.
I mean, personally, I like this one better than the original, so I would go A tier. Just saying.
All right. Well, Austin.
He's not making out with his mom in this one, at least. So.
I save S tier for original Back to the Future, but I put Back to the Future 2 in the A tier because it might be, in my heart, my favorite one that I've watched more than the original, only because I think it's super entertaining. Like, it moves at such a quick clip. You've got the stuff in the beginning with the future that's a lot of fun. Then they jump to the alternate idea, 1985, which is so much fun. It's one of my favorite extended sequences of the series. Just him going around being confused by everything that's going on. It's really dark. You get Donald Trump, Biff in that future, which is a lot of fun. And then you go back to 55 and you get to see a lot of the stuff in the original seen from an alternate perspective, kind of way before even like Avengers Endgame did it with some of those scenes where you get to kind of see another angle of some of the same scenes going on. It's super fun. I think it's really, really entertaining. I think it's a solid sequel. The original film is a better made film just because it's almost a perfect film writing wise. But I really love Back to the Future 2, and I would put it in an A category as well.
All right. Well, so Mark, you make me kind of regret not dressing up in my Marty McFly costume for the show. I should have done that. That would have been cool because Back to the Future is S tier all the way. It's my number 3 favorite movie of all time. I think it's the best of the series. I love just seeing their version of the future of 2015, but which is like not really a future, but it is in the movie. And just seeing them kind of go back to relive all the events from the first movie, but kind of in like a different way, and like seeing like the like skew from the timeline where Biff gets his giant casino hotel thing, and like I think that it's great. Like I love all the hoverboard stuff. I love the Griff Tannen from the future, like when he's like, hey, like those things don't work on water, and they're like, and so like he's like doing a little like hoverboard chase, which is like cool, and then him seeing a version of his younger self, and like just like all that stuff, like I just love it all, and yeah, like I would say S tier all the way. I actually have a framed picture of the DeLorean sitting like right on my desk, so I mean, so yeah, like I would say S tier all the way. So
we got an S and 2 A's and a B, so I think it goes in A, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd say A. So kind of hurts my heart even to see it in A, because like, oh man, I love that movie so much. But
Jordan's gonna end the show right
but
now.
it's fair, right? Yep.
I'm sorry for giving it a B. I'm sorry.
No.
I abstained. Someone else gave it a B.
No, I expected
Yeah, right.
this from Jeff. He's you know, the inner geekdom type stuff on this list. He's not going to be as into as some of the other movies. We'll try not to bring up Harry Potter.
I'm not even part of it.
Right.
Well, Jeff, it's your turn now, so you can pick whatever you like on this list.
But
sir.
you did just
It's your
set
turn.
me up for my next selection.
All right.
All right.
Coming to the D tier.
Ooh.
Ooh.
What could
It
it be?
is-
What could it be?
Mr. D himself, Deadpool 2. A
Ooh,
garbage
yeah.
movie. A garbage movie.
Where is it? I
Ever
know
was
it's here.
one. Okay, Domino was boring.
See it.
It tried to drop in like Brad Pitt cameos and jokes to live.
here.
The movie was pure torture, just like the first movie, but even worse. It just took everything I hated about the first movie and amplified it. It's obnoxious, and the villain wasn't good, and yeah, Deadpool 2, bad.
Well, all right then, Paige, what do you think?
Honestly, guys, I have to agree.
Really?
I mean, Zazie Beetz though is beautiful as hell, but other than that, though, like a lot of the characters were boring. It was just like nonsense. It was just a bunch of nonsense.
The
That's all I
teenage
get.
girl was good. She was good.
Yeah, what
But that's the
Rihanna
point of
Hill.
it, is nonsense. It's
And the
supposed
other
to be
girl, it's
fun.
like, bye, Wade. Hi, Wade. Like, that stuff is fun.
yeah, she's cute, but other than that, it's
Yeah.
really just a hot mess. So yeah, that's my take.
All right,
so
Austin.
yeah, I'd probably say I'm gonna go D too.
Okay, D. All right.
Double
Austin?
D's on this one.
Yep.
Yeah, to me, the first one was watchable because you actually had a decent romantic dynamic between Ryan Reynolds and what's her name? I forget, Vanessa. And in the sequel, you don't even have that. You don't even have that in the sequel. So like the movie, yeah, to me is kind of aimless. And while I somewhat enjoyed it when I saw it, it's only gotten worse on rewatches. To me, like it's not holding up very well. Every time I watch it or I see it, pieces of it, I think the jokes fall more flat the second time around. A lot of the stuff becomes really disjointed. It's like they're just throwing things at the wall and kind of seeing what sticks. And yeah, to me, I don't go as harsh as a D, but I go like a C. Just because it originally was like a B for me, and it's gone down in subsequent viewings to more like a C level. So yeah, I go for like a C.
Well, for me, like I think so. I remember when I discovered Deadpool comics, like I freaking love the character of Deadpool. Like I think he's great. Like some of my favorite comic book runs are with Deadpool, especially when like he just like constantly like breaking Nick Fury's balls. That's one of my favorite runs. There's one where he's just like totally the whole time just like making fun of Nick Fury. He's always after Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my other favorite Marvel superhero. But and I even have some of the other things. I got my little Deadpool bobblehead right next to my computer as well. But for the movie overall, though, like I would probably give it probably like a B, just because like like for me, the most memorable character in the movie, besides Deadpool and
Who, Rob
Cable.
Delaney's character?
Yeah, right. Rob Delaney's character. That's what I was gonna say. So like he just playing some like generic guy that just like is just like has no power, like has like nothing, and like he's the most memorable character besides the two leads, which is kind of sad to say. So I mean, for that, it's just kind of hard for me to rank it super high, but I still have a lot of love for the character Deadpool. So I mean, I would give it at least a B. So yeah, but Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm okay with where it is now with the 8-bit. It's just aimless and obnoxious, and I think we need probably more like comedy superheroes, but they need to tone down the obnoxiousness a little bit. You don't have to make a joke every 5 seconds.
All right, so we've got a C and 3 Ds.
It stays in D. To me,
It stays at the D.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think so,
because we give a tad more sway, like we almost like an extra vote to the person who nominated it. So yeah, it stays in D.
All right.
Yep. So all right, let's keep it rolling. And it's Paige's turn. What do you got, Paige?
All right. I mean, this might. I don't know. Well, we don't have the original sequel to this movie on here.
I know what you're talking about.
But personally, I freaking loved this movie when it came out, and it was definitely my top 5 of the year. So I'm going with Halloween 2018. I mean, to me, that was a love. I always said a love story, a love letter to Laurie Strode, and just like the themes that it goes with showing pain and like PTSD and what she struggled with after the events of the first film and how it's affected her everyday life. I mean, that movie's just so badass too. And then, I mean, Halloween is probably one of my favorite franchises, even the bad ones I enjoy. So, like Resurrection H2O, I was kind of sad that her son was not Josh Hartnett in this one, but yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, I think this deserves to be in the S tier. But what do y'all think? Hot take.
Yeah, Austin, what do you think?
I like it a lot. This is actually one of the ones I rewatched in the last week or so because I hadn't seen it since the theater. So I rewatched it recently, and I enjoyed it a lot. Did I enjoy it to the point of S tier alongside movies like The Godfather 2 and Terminator 2? No, but I very much enjoyed it. So to me, I would put it in like a low A tier to me because I did really like it. I liked Jamie Lee Curtis was awesome. She was very good. It is a nice love letter to her. I like where they kind of took her story. I don't like the fact that they discount Halloween 2 as well because that one takes place on like the same night, and the fact that they just like, the continuity of that series is so jacked up now. Like it's so weird. We've had like 3 reboots in 20 years. It's kind of ridiculous, but doing the math on it is like that meme with Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trying to explain like where everything goes. But I mean, I like it. Yeah, it's a definitely a brutal movie. I'd forgotten Michael kills like a 10-year-old kid near the beginning of that movie just because he's just going around murdering people for like 15 minutes, and as soon as he gets out in there, he's getting it out of his system, I guess. But yeah, I really liked it. I like the finale. I'm looking forward to Halloween Kills. It's an A level for me.
Yeah, so let's see. I'm gonna put it where Paige said originally, but we're still gonna talk about it. But yeah, for me, like, so I've actually only seen the original Halloween and then this one from 2018. So I don't know if I'm doing it right, if I'm supposed to disregard everything else because this is the direct sequel. But like probably someday I'll get back to seeing the other ones. And I really don't really care to see the one that shows Michael Myers' origin story, like the curse of Michael Myers, something like that. But yeah, because like I just like just Michael Myers is like this like unstoppable figure that just comes in the night and like he can't be killed. Like just the shape, that just makes it so much better for me. And so but this movie was absolutely awesome. Like I love the whole thing with Laurie Strode trying to hunt down Michael Myers. She has just randomly this whole house filled with like some booby traps and like an underground bunker, I guess, and so she lures them in, and like I think that's a pretty cool premise. Seeing her kind of prep for that, it's like almost like it gives me vibes of like a Home Alone, but a horror version, sort of in a loose kind of way. But I would probably wouldn't quite go S tier. I'd probably go A tier. But I think that it was great, and I'm super. I'm excited for Halloween Kills. Like I'm sad that all these movies got bumped, so we didn't get to see them as soon as we could have. But I mean, we'll see it eventually. So yeah, I'll say A tier. But Mark, what do you think?
Haven't seen it, so you have to skip me.
Okay.
All right, fair enough, Jeff.
The 2020
Ooh.
Player of the Year says this is a B plus, which means it's a B tier for me. I mean, I really liked this movie that David Gordon Green did right by the franchise, and I'm looking forward to those sequels too. And I liked Andy Matichak and Judy Greer. But yeah, it felt like a B plus to me, and yeah, it's a B.
All right. So we got.
I think it goes in A. We had a two. We had a
I'm happy
A,
with
two
that,
A's,
though,
a
at
B, and an
least.
S. So it goes in an A.
Okay. 2 A's, a B, and an S. Yeah, I think A sounds about right. So yeah, we'll throw it in the A tier, and then let's see. Is it my turn? Is that
No,
where
it's
we're at?
my turn, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Paige just went. So
Yeah,
all right. I
You're
gotta
up,
figure
boss.
out which one I wanna talk about. Man. All right. So I'll stick with horror for a second and go with a movie I really think is S tier horror and a phenomenal sequel, and that's George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
All right. I kind of figured you would go there eventually.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I have watched this very, very recently because I just picked up the 4K Blu-ray, which is amazing, by the way. The 4-disc set is incredible. I highly recommend it. And yeah, to me, it's just not only one of the great horror movies of the 70s, but it's one of the great horror movies of all time. It has a phenomenal balance of horror and gore mixed with humor, mixed with social commentary, mixed with a little bit of action. It has everything you could want in a horror movie. It has a really good pace for a 2-hour horror movie. It just moves along at a great clip. You got all these guys surviving in this mall, just doing everything you would probably do. We have actually fairly smart characters in the movie, other than Flyboy, and people making good decisions. Terrific Tom Savini gore effects. I mean, still that hold up to this day. I'm not talking about the makeup, the blue makeup. I'm just talking about the gore effects.
What level is it on? What level is it on?
Yeah,
I put it on S. I put it on S level, but that was just me.
On the S, okay.
Yeah, I think because I think it's one of the great horror movies of all time. So yeah, I go with S level, and we'll see what happens from here.
Well, so I have to say
Jordan hasn't seen it, so yeah, we might have to go on from that.
No, but I haven't seen it. I have seen the remake from Zack Snyder, which was actually surprisingly pretty good. Like I actually enjoyed the remake, but I've not seen this one. So yeah, we'll have to. I'll abstain. We'll throw it over to Mark. What do you think?
You'll skip me on that one.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
It's a B for me, dog. This is a good movie, but it's not one that I generally think of it as one of the greats. Yeah, B.
All right, B. Paige, what do you think?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with I think A tier. I mean, in college my freshman year, one of the electives I took was a zombie film class, and we just literally watched zombie movies and then analyzed them in papers. And one of the dopest classes ever, I must say. And I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I actually really, to me, Dawn of the Dead, the remake from Snyder, I think is like one of his best movies. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this movie, and this sick ass zombie flick. Gotta love zombies. So I mean, I'd give it an A in the A tiers.
I want to eat your brains, Fabretti.
What'd you say?
I want to eat your brains.
Yep.
Now, Shaun of the Dead, on the other hand,
Yeah,
Could
Shaun of the
speak
Dead.
to you on that one.
Well, here's a fun side tangent. So we did 2000s horror movies on a tier ranking show. We're gonna go through each decade, and both Shaun of the Dead and Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead made our top 10 for that show. So just to let you know. So maybe I'll get to talk a little bit more about this Dawn of the Dead when we get to our 70s horror movies. So we'll talk more about that on that show.
Yeah, right.
So are we dropping this down to A tier?
I think it goes down
A.
to like the top of A because I had like an S, a A, and a B, so I think it goes into A tier.
The S, A, and a B. Yep. So I think A. So
Maybe I'll fight for it for the honorable mentions. I'll try.
all right. So I'm up. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go with kind of like a mid to high level one for me, but I'm gonna go with the Lost World Jurassic Park. So I'm a huge diehard Jurassic Park fan, and like for me, when the first Jurassic Park movie blew me away so much by the dinosaurs and the special effects that like after that, like I didn't even care what the movies after that were even about. Like I don't even care if they have good writing. I don't care if they have any of that. It's just dinosaurs tearing people's heads off and just like running amok and just going crazy. It's just one of those movies that I just shove popcorn in my face and just watch dinosaurs just eating people for 2 hours and then watching people run around scared. Like I just think that it's great. Like for me, that's just something that personally I just love, and like I love all the Jurassic Park movies, even the bad ones. I like all of them, but we'll say definitely it's not as good as original, and as a case to be made, maybe that's not even quite as good as the Lost or as Jurassic World, but. I mean, for me though, I would give it a solid A tier because I even like what they did when the dinosaur like walking around Los Angeles and they like bring it back and it's like kind of like a better Godzilla movie. Like I wish they would have done in some Godzilla movie, just like the way that they like show it popping up like by a kid's bedroom window and he gets all freaked out. You know, like I mean, I wish they would have done more of that in some Godzilla movies. So I'd give it an A tier. So we'll expand that a little bit, and I'll throw it right there, but we'll see what you guys think. What do you think, Mark?
It was so long ago. It was kind of hard to say much about it, but I definitely preferred the original Jurassic Park more. I'd give it a B, and you know. You're talking about ripping people's heads off. Maybe they should make some like a horror movie where the entire movie is just ripping people's heads off. Dinosaurs running around. Could mix a zombie with.
It's called Carnosaur. They already made that movie.
Oh.
It's terrible.
Is there one? Hey,
from 1994.
I'd watch it just for that. I wouldn't care if it's bad. I just would have fun with it. All right, fair enough. You say B. So Jeff, what do you think?
That C tier's looking a little lonely, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I thought The Lost World was okay. It's probably a 2.5-star movie for me out of 4 stars. Here's the thing with me though. If you have an unlimited budget, okay, and you have the world's most powerful director in Steven Spielberg, you got to come up with something better than this. I think it's a high bar, creates high expectations. This movie just didn't quite meet, and as such, even though it may be a B-, I got to go C grade here.
All right, C grade.
C tier, yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Paige, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, definitely deserves to be in that C slot. I mean, I think Jurassic Park 3 is better than this movie.
Oh, God, no.
Oh.
What? Okay, hot take. Isn't that the one with William H. Macy in it?
Joe Johnston, Jurassic Park 3. That is wow. Ooh.
I mean, Joe Johnson.
You're not Vince Vaughn just running around with the
talking raptor. Come on, the talking Allen raptor in the dream sequence. No, God, no.
Maybe this holds a special place in my heart. I don't know. But yeah, I think it belongs in that C tier. So yeah.
I know. Poor Paige. She was trying to have my back, and then she said, invoke Jurassic Park 3. I jumped down her throat.
I know. What?
What an ass.
Right. Well, Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, Jeff kind of took the words out of my mouth. It's looking real good for that C-level tier. I mean, even when we were ranking Spielberg movies, when we did that episode a few months back, I think we quickly put it in like a C tier through all of our consensus. And look, I'm a Lost World defender. I enjoy that movie on a guilty pleasure kind of a level because I think it has some fun kind of pulpy performances and scenes. I actually genuinely think the Two Raptor trailer scene over the cliff is like really good, and I love Pete Postlethwaite in that movie. But like I'm a defender, and even I would put that in a C level just because I enjoy it on a silly level.
The glass cracking scene is great with the windshield.
Yeah, that's part of that sequence. It's great, and it has even the other stuff with Eddie, one of their crew, trying to like pull it back up with his car, like strapping it to the cable. Like it's a really good scene. It's really well done, but it's like the best scene of the movie. The movie kind of peaks there, and then it doesn't quite get to that level. Even Spielberg himself said the stuff at the end, like that extra act at the end where the T-Rex is like running around California, he regrets doing that and said he was just out of control with his budget and just doing silly stuff at that point. Like even he just wanted to make a Godzilla movie, so he like made a mini Godzilla movie, and even he doesn't like it. So yeah, it's C level, man. Like it really is. Like I like the movie, but like I can recognize it's a C level.
Oh, was he trying to create a spin-off?
Yeah, like some kind of spin-off.
Kind of. I mean, you know, just
world tour.
Yeah, but
three votes for C? Was that it?
I think I want to give a shout out to the book real quick. The book's one of my favorite books I've ever read, and that I feel like that when they made this movie, they kind of half followed the book, but the book is just so incredible. Michael Crichton is my second favorite author of all time, but he's up there. Like he is just right.
Who's your favorite?
Wrote some, my favorites is Rick Riordan. I'm a fantasy guy, so he wrote Percy Jackson. So like I'm into the books. The movies are bad, but the books are
Disney Plus series coming.
Yeah, right. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully they do it justice. We'll see. But
Jeff, do you have any Knives Out 2 more casting secrets for us at all?
I'm telling you, I was so close to that Catherine Hahn thing. I do think that Catherine Hahn's going to be playing a politician.
That could make sense. I could totally see that.
That could be fun.
Let's see if she'll be wacky.
She almost does in Parks and Recreation, so like I could see her doing that.
That's what I've heard. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know Jeff Sneider, we got one of the best movie scoop breakers in the business in the house here. So like he always breaks like the best stuff. So
it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yes, right.
He actually makes it all up, but then it's just true. So
right. Well, it's been a weird year for movies, so we'll just say that.
Yeah.
Really weird, but yeah. So we'll throw it back to Mark. You're up. What do you got?
Trying to remember which one I had picked. I would go with Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah. All right.
There's some Ace Ventura 2. There's some, I don't know, the scene in the way he interacts with the person at the nature preserve. I'm trying to remember. Was just really enjoyable, and I just that was just a fun movie to watch. Jim Carrey near the top, and so because of that, I'd put it at a.
There you go.
I love that type of comedy.
Brian, right. You are crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's blasphemy.
Hey,
this movie belongs right next to Jurassic Park, The Last World, on the C tier. It is not a horrible sequel by any stretch. Shikaka forever. But this thing is pretty fucking annoying. And the first Ace Ventura is fantastic. So, C for me.
Well, all right, we got an A and C. Paige, what do you think?
For me, I'm going with the C. Call me crazy, but I think this movie's freaking annoying. So, yeah, not a fan.
Well, then, Austin, what do you think?
I like parts of Ace Ventura 2, but I vastly prefer the original to the second one. I think he's much, much better in the first one. I think the first one's better directed, better written with Tom Shadyac. I just think it has better, smarter humor. I think the second one just goes for more bodily fluid jokes and some of the more obvious, just kind of fish out of water stuff with him, interacting with the tribes and stuff, and some of it's just very kind of lowbrow, really obvious jokes. I like the setting. I like him being in kind of the jungle amongst the animals. Like I love some of the sequences are great. I think the sequence where he's sweating his ass off in the rhino, that's really, really funny.
That's so good.
Really, really funny.
Glorious.
Like I love that stuff.
Look,
like
Mom, the
there's
rhino.
really
Rhino's
there's
giving
good
birth.
like if I could take a montage and put together like a 20-minute cut of this movie of like some of my favorite stuff, I would really love it. But there's a lot of stuff in between that just doesn't work. The first one's way better. It's like B or C level for me. Probably like low B.
Well, for me, I think you guys are all crazy. Like, I love Ace Ventura. like S tier all the way for me, baby. Because I just love all the like the zaniness from Jim Carrey. I think this is Jim Carrey at his absolute prime, like his absolute best. Just like
you think Jim Carrey at his absolute best
yes,
is
like
Ace Ventura when
yes, because he's built for
comes?
comedy, and he.
Oh boy!
And he has the whole entire Chitty Bang Bang scene is the best Chitty Bang Bang scene in any movie. He improvised the whole entire scene, so that's a totally improvised scene where he just drives that guy crazy, and all the stuff inside the consulate where he's like, "You must be the Monopoly guy," and he's like just like carrying the guy around on his shoulders, and then he's like messing up their little presentation, doing like hi ho silver away, like all that stuff is just like so good to me. And then when he's walking through the like tribe and he's like sneezing on him and he's like hey there, nice to see you, bumblebee tuna, and like he's like, she's like, excuse me, your balls are showing. Like there's so many lines from that movie that I quote like all the time. The whole sequence with the slinky going down the huge set of stairs, like there's just so many classic scenes. But I do have to say that there are some kind of just kind of like not very memorable parts in between the like hilarity. So I mean, but like I don't know, just like the way Jim Carrey like did everything in this movie, like is one of the funniest things I've just ever seen. Like it just kills me every time, and maybe more of a personal thing, but for me, I got to go with S tier. Like this movie, it's just one I've seen about 100 times. I just like cry laughing every time that I watch this. So yeah,
and I can attest to that because Jordan and I we grew up together, and I would go over to his house. We'd watch like 2 movies in a row. And by the second one, it would be like falling asleep. But we'd always reserve this for probably like the first movie, and we'd just be dying laughing.
Did you guys like take acid while you did it? Like I'm confused.
No, you just gotta.
But
like some people find comedians, like whatever they do is funny, and nothing can be irritating when Jim Carrey's doing it.
Yeah, right.
Guys, you do realize the plot of that movie is based around the MacGuffin of batshit, right?
Right.
Like that's the plot of that movie.
And it actually worked for me, like before the comedy.
Oh boy.
You're right. It's the same as the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. It's right up there.
Yeah, right. But our 2 guilty pleasures were Ace Ventura and A Night at the Roxbury. We just watch those movies on like replay all the time. So those are our 2 go-to growing up. But so we got a couple of C tiers. I think we had a B, right?
We got an S, an A, and I changed mine to C, so we got 3 C's. So bump it down to that B.
All right, so
it ain't going that high.
Go to C. Yeah.
Come on.
But I think it's at least better than Deadpool 2. I got to give it that. I mean,
I said B. It's B.
Don't put it D.
You put it way too low.
Oh, you said we had. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
3 C, S, and an A, so it goes into B.
Okay.
It goes into B.
Okay, good. Like for some reason, like I thought you said 3 D's, and I was like, did I hear that right?
Okay. Think about this.
We'll leave it there. Okay, that's good.
Ace Ventura 2 is directed by Steve Odekirk. Okay, back years before. Okay, Jim Carrey co-starred in this very tiny movie called High Strung that starred Steve Odekirk as a guy who says, "I wish I was dead," and on the 10,000th time he says, "I wish I was dead," the devil appears. And Jim Carrey plays the devil.
Oh,
really?
track down
interesting.
the movie. It's very, very funny, but it's very
I'll have to
little.
check that out. Yeah, for sure.
We might check it out because we're going to be doing a tier ranker fights about Jim Carrey movies probably in the next month or two. So I might track down some of these lesser known ones and watch them.
Yeah, for sure. But on that note, Jeff, you're up.
All right, Jeff.
I am going to pick the movie that I saw in the intro to this podcast. The fight. Do you guys have any idea what is in there?
The Raid 2, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Raid 2, and to me, on the
it's hovering somewhere around here, I thought.
A tier. I understand if you guys haven't seen it, maybe it goes in the never seen, but because I saw it in the intro, that means I imagine Jordan's seen it. And it belongs
it's on the right, in the far right column, up near the top. The far
next
right. Under Young Guns.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There you go.
Okay.
So, incredible action movie. Like I said, this is a sequel that does something totally different than the first film, which was very claustrophobic, set in one location. This is a sprawling Godfather Two-esque epic of family and revenge and betrayal. The action scenes are incredible. Iko Uwais is amazing. This is definitely an A sequel.
All right. Well, we'll throw it in the A tier for now. See where it lands. Paige, what do you think?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen this one. I do really enjoy the first film, though. So, if what you say, Jeff, it's great. It's just as good as that one.
Paige. Track it down.
I will.
Yeah. But Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to see both The Raid and The Raid 2 in theaters, and I'm so glad I got a chance to because I love both of those movies. To me, I prefer the first one over the second one just because I think the second one gets a little bogged down in some of the undercover police stuff, and it's just there's some slog kind of moments in between the fights, although I will admit that the fights are some of the most incredible ones ever put to film. I just prefer the more cohesiveness of the plot of the first one with him, if it being more of a shootout kind of a movie for the first 30 minutes or so, and then him having to fight his way out of the building, just fight after fight after fight, just in a fight for survival. You don't get as much of that in the second one. It's just more of devices to kind of get him into the different fights. But it doesn't mean I don't like Raid 2. Like, don't get me wrong. I love it. It's great. To me, the Raid is like S level, and then the Raid 2 is like just under that. Like, I agree with Jeff, it's just under that, but a very high A level. It's so good. Paige, anybody who's not seen it out there is watching. Raid and the Raid 2, great double feature. Check it out. It's awesome. But the Raid 2, like high A, just under S. All
right. Well, I do have to say that I have actually not seen the Raid 2.
Oh,
I have it in the intro because people told me about the kitchen fight scene, and I probably watched that fight scene alone probably like 50 times. So this movie is definitely on my radar. I have seen the first Raid though, and it was absolutely amazing. Like if we had the first Raid, that would go in the S tier for sure for me. Mm-hmm. But I have not seen the second one. I've only seen that one fight scene, and it's amazing.
Jordan, but you're in luck because that package I'm sending you has a Blu-ray of the Raid 2, so you're in luck.
Oh, nice!
I picked up the double feature Blu-ray, so you will see it very soon.
Nice.
Yeah. Austin sent me a little birthday present with like 30 movies.
Which, by the way, I got an email that it got delivered, so it's at your front door right now. So you should probably break.
Ooh, nice! So after this, I'll have a little
right. I sent him a gift. I sent him a gift box of like horror movies and stuff from my collection that he needs to see, like upcoming stuff, like a big box of like 50 Blu-rays and DVDs. So stuff I picked up for him to watch. So yeah,
good friend right there, Jordan. That's
right.
To fill all my movie holes.
Some good shit in there, man. Good stuff. A lot of good horror movies, mostly.
Mark, have you seen Raid 2?
I have not.
Man.
So we've got 2 A's and 3 never seens. How does that work?
Well, we had at least 2. We had at least 2 votes, so it goes in the A. Because I think
with
Road Warrior, I kind of felt like I had the only argument and like was familiar with it, kind of, you know what I mean?
Now,
but at least
how much longer are we? I know we have a zillion more movies to do, but we've already been on for an hour and a half.
We only go up to 2 hours. We go to about 2 hours, and then we start hammering out some hardcore rankings. So we got about 30 more minutes to bang out some of the good ones. So
everyone start throwing your S tiers out there, guys.
I mean, so we'll get up to the top right here. And then we go to like a Hail Mary round where we throw out some last minute, just quick fire stuff. So we'll keep going kind of normally for the next 3. And then when we get back around, we'll kind of do like a Hail Mary round. So Paige, you still get a kind of a normal round here. What do you, normal pick here? What do you got?
Yeah.
How the F has no one said this movie yet? The Dark Knight. Hello. That movie is the best out of that trilogy, and
I think it's gonna go
what
Heath
Ledger does with the Joker is just bonkers and badass. And yeah, this is the best Batman movie in Nolan's trilogy. Hands down.
Yeah, this might be a unanimous one. I don't know. Would everyone say S, or is there anyone that would argue against
S?
S.
Gonna give it A.
Yep.
Paige, as somewhat of an explanation, we did comic book movies last week with some of the Inner Geekdom people, the Schmodown, and we kind of left it off the list till about an hour and a half just because we kind of all knew it was like an S tier, but we just didn't bother like debating it. And we kind of just threw it up there around the same time, and we're just like, does anybody not agree? Do we need to debate this? Like, okay.
Well, I just have at least, I just wanted to be able to say one movie that would be on the S tier that everyone agreed. So I'm glad at least I got one in there.
Understood. Yep, I don't think anybody disagrees, unless if you do, speak up now. But I'm pretty sure it's unanimous.
Yep.
I said A because.
All right, I'm gonna have to cut your throat.
Yeah.
Well, good thing you're in Boston or wherever.
See you later, Mark.
Yep. Bye.
No. Just kidding.
Yeah. I'm just not a big fan of the newer Nolan Batman trilogy. I guess it just. I mean, are you a Marvel person or a DC person? I'm more of a Marvel person, and it's it goes super dark, and just not a big fan of it. So
I love my dark and gritty superhero movies. That's how they should be.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're still gonna stay in S tier though, because we only
definitely
got 1A. So, but yeah, we'll throw it over to Austin.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot for an S tier, and this may be a little unconventional, but I think I might be able to argue my way to it. Let's talk Toy Story 2. It's over in the left column.
Let's see. Oh yeah, here you go.
Yeah. To me, it's definitely what we talked about taking a premise of the original and expanding and even improving in a lot of ways, to me, on the original. I think that Toy Story 2 has even better writing, better jokes. It kind of expands outside of Andy's room, so you get this like adventure where Andy is out with with the crew, kind of when he gets kidnapped by Wayne Knight, and he's they want to put him in the museum, and then you get the rest of the crew trying to go in on this rescue mission. You get some very, very good writing. What I'm mainly talking about is some of the moral conundrums in this film that is really high level for a children's Pixar movie, with the debate about Woody having this conundrum of do I choose to kind of be immortal and be admired for the rest of my life in this museum, or do I hang on to these couple of years of this fun with his owner? You get that a music video sequence, the When She Loved Me thing sequence, which is super, super heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching, almost like a mini movie itself. I put it right up there with the opening stuff from Up, as far as just stuff where you just want to cry at the end of it. I think it's great action, great writing, great direction, and really good comedy. I go Toy Story 2 as an S-level, not only Pixar movie, but S-level sequel. It's my favorite of the series, and I love it.
Well, for me, Toy Story 2 is my third favorite of the series, but that's not really saying too much because I love the whole series as a whole. I think the whole series is incredible. But my favorite is Toy Story 3. There's a few emotional moments that get me in that one, like when they're all holding hands by the incinerator, or when Andy has to give his toys away to the little girl. So, but we're talking Toy Story 2 here, and like some of those moments that you mentioned, Austin, are some great moments, and like the scene like When She Loved Me, that that always gets me too. And
that whole scene
then
with Jesse, with her backstory, like, and it makes you like a grown person cry. Like it is super gut wrenching. And when she ends up in like the donation box and just watching her drive away, oh my god! And the Sarah McLachlan song, like her songs make you cry anyways, but like oh my god! But like it's some of the best. It's some of the best writing in the series, just in my opinion. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're good, but yeah, then we meet Emperor Zurg, and I guess he ends up being Buzz's father, I guess, in the movie. And then you meet the old prospector that played by Kelsey Grammer. So he's a pretty solid villain, and you got the whole thing with like Al's Toy Barn. They got to go and try to rescue Buzz. So they go on this little mission to it, which is like pretty fun. Like my favorite character has always been Rex from the series. I just love like when he gets out of the house and he's so scared of everything and all that. So but overall though, because it's my third favorite in the series, I'd give it an A tier. So that's just me. I'd probably would just bump it a little bit down. But Mark, what do you think for Toy Story 2?
It's kind of hard to rank like this as a cartoon versus the other ones. So just considering like a kid's cartoon, I think. If I try to compare them with the other ones it's next to, kind of hard. I'll put it as an A. I like the story. I like how they expand on the characters. Definitely gives them more opportunity for selling more toys with all the new characters. But they did a good job with all the new ones on that one. And pretty solid movie. A.
We got another vote for A. So, Jeff, what do you think?
A. I love the Toy Story franchise. I will always love the first movie the most. I don't know where this Toy Story 2 is the best. Toy Story 3 is the best. No. The original is always going to be the best.
All right.
They're all
love for the whole series.
It is really the greatest franchise, active franchise, along with Mission Impossible. And, A for me.
Yeah, for sure. Paige, what do you think?
This might be a hot take. I love the first one. I'm obsessed with it. Don't really care for the other ones at all. So, but it's a great film. So, I'll give it an A.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. So, probably A tier is where it's going to land because we got a bunch of votes for A, only one for S. So, we'll throw it in the A tier.
Okay.
And then now it is my turn again.
It's kind of like the Star Wars movies where like everybody has their own like personal favorite of the series. You know what I mean? So like it just whichever one you connect to the most. That's the one I've gone back to the most. So that's all.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong, Austin. You're wrong.
I'm sorry. I'll excuse myself now.
But for me, I got to go with an S tier. Like this one has to make it like in the top 10 for me personally. So I got to go with Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. Because I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. Like especially the Two Towers is my favorite of the series. Like, and mostly because of the dynamic between Sam and Frodo in this movie, especially Sam's speech at the end just gets me every time. I think like for any movie that I've ever seen, like it's the greatest display of friendship, like pure like brotherly love and friendship that I've ever seen. Like it's just like so powerful, and the speech is just like moves me every time. You got some great battle scenes. You got just like the great lore, just like everything that Lord of the Rings brings. Like for me, it's just hard to rank anything from the original trilogy from Lord of the Rings. Not talking about the Hobbit, but to rank anything from that trilogy lower than an S tier, I think is a crime. But especially the Two Towers. Like I have so much love for that movie. It's when Gandalf the White shows up. So it's just like it's a lot of fun. So I got to go with S tier. But Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. S tier for that one. The one thing about that movie is the soundtrack is amazing. Like you can just kind of listen to that. If you're like if you're trying to concentrate on something, just kind of listen to that. Just great soundtrack, great movie. Still, it was still like near the the peak of its greatness before delving into, hey, let's break Hobbit into multiple movies. Let's get the extended editions. Let's make this as long as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely S.
Well, Jeff, what do you think?
Not a big Lord of the Rings guy either, unfortunately.
I would have never guessed.
I respect these movies more than the Star Wars franchise, for instance. I can only bring myself to give it a B, though. So.
All right, so 2 S's and a B. Paige, what do you think?
I apologize.
No, you're good.
It was a long day.
Yeah, right.
No, honestly, I mean, for a film that's all about just one long little road trip on the feet of just dropping off a ring off the top of a mountain, I'd give it an S. I like Fellowship of the Ring the best, but yeah, I think it deserves to be up there.
All right, Austin, what do you think?
It's my favorite movie of the series. I love The Two Towers. It's really great. It doesn't have 10 endings like Return of the King does, which is a plus in my opinion. And it ends with maybe one of the greatest action sequences of all time with the Helm's Deep battle. I think it's just super, super epic, really, really cool. Some phenomenal moments. You get a lot of really good practical stuff with the orcs in there that they went with CGI in the Hobbit movies, and I appreciate all the practical stuff that's in that sequence. It's Peter Jackson doing his thing. I agree with the Sam and Frodo stuff you talked about, Jordan, for sure. I think it's really, really good, solid stuff. As far as sequel goes, yeah, you don't get a lot better than Lord of the Rings. I mean, all 3 of the movies are really good. But yeah, that's my personal favorite of the series. So I can't argue against S, so I'd go with S.
All right, so S tier it is for that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we want to do Hail Mary round now, or if we want to, or like,
Let's do it.
What do you think, Austin? So
let's see. We got a little bit of time. I think we got enough time to do that, and then do some rapid fires. So let's keep going for another.
Yeah, we'll keep going.
We'll go till we get to me. Let's give Jeff and Paige another kind of regular pick round, and then we'll start with the Hail Marys.
Yeah. So
Jeff, what do you got? Or I'm sorry. Were we at Mark? I'm sorry. Were we at Mark? I apologize.
Yeah, we're at Mark next. So yeah.
Mark, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Let Mark
go.
Sorry, Mark.
May not be forgotten.
Home Alone 2.
Are you kidding me?
Ooh, yes.
That's what I was gonna pick.
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Never mind. I'll leave it to you. I'm not.
You want
That's not my S or anything. So.
Well, Jeff is just excited to talk about it. Might as well.
Yeah. It's up to you. Whatever you want. It's your turn.
Whatever you want.
Scroll down a little bit. Born Identity.
Okay.
Born Supremacy.
So
I say wrong movie.
I love that type of movie and that plot of and I'll make it short. I love that type of movie. I like his character, the action. That would, put it near an S. However, due to the filmography, the style that they have, where they love having the bouncy camera. I hate that. It's like so because of that, because I'm feel like I need to vomit at the end of the movie from the camera shaking. I'll put it at a C.
Wow. Was that Paul Greengrass that directed that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he directed like all of them pretty much.
And then like for 5 years after that, all the action movies were like, hey, let's make it shaky.
Yep.
I gotta go B.
Right,
this is an influential action movie. I'm not a big fan of the Bourne movies either. I think that the story is preposterous and just so stupid and absurd when you really think about it.
It's just very repetitive, all of the movies.
But I like the aesthetic that Greengrass introduced with this, the shaky cam and everything, and I think it's probably a better sequel than the original. It's a better movie than the original. So yeah, I go B.
All right, B. Paige, what do you think?
I think it fits well in the B tier. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I love me some
All right.
Damon. So
Yeah. That sounds good, Austin. What do you got?
B for Bourne. Yeah, definitely. It's a B for the Bourne. Basically, all the Bourne sequels for me. I think the series kind of peaked with the original. I think the story of the original is the best, with him kind of snapping out of it and slowly gaining his memory and learning his abilities and figuring out what he knows and all this kind of stuff and discovering who he is. I think the movie kind of peaks with that. And yeah, the shaky cam stuff, dude. It's a killer, man. Because then when you watch that, when you watch that, and then when you watch stuff like The Raid, a movie that pulls back the camera and just has amazing choreography, or even the John Wick movies, that lets people do a fight and like you get to see people doing it and you're not confused at all about what's going on. Like you can't then go back and watch The Bourne Supremacy and like get a headache. Like it's horrible. I can't go back and do that. So yeah, but it's B for Bourne. It's a B movie.
They should have the Bourne challenge where you watch the movie on VR glasses.
Mm-hmm. Trying not to die.
Yeah,
while skateboarding.
Right.
Yeah, see if you can make it without throwing up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I have a lot of love for the Bourne franchise. I've read about 6 of the books. Like the books by Robert Ludlum are actually great. It's one of my favorite series, and the movies are a lot of fun. Like it's a great character, but it's hard for me to distinguish one from the other. Like I mean, the first movie, like you definitely know, like when he kind of like has amnesia and he wakes up on the boat, he's trying to remember everything. So that one's easy to pick up, but then the rest of them just kind of blend together. Like I don't know which one
I have a hard time remembering, what scenes are in Supremacy and what scenes are in Ultimatum. Like, I can't remember. Like, I don't know.
Blend together. So, I mean, and just a little side note about that. So one of the guys that worked on the film, Frank Marshall, who's married to Kathleen Kennedy. So I'm originally from Idaho. I grew up there, and they lived a little bit, but in Idaho for a few years. So with one of these movies, Matt Damon would come to Idaho and do a movie premiere for the movies. We have a little theater called the Egyptian Theater there that he would come to a premiere at. So like it was always like a big thing because Idaho, like nobody comes to Idaho for much, and so there's always this huge thing when he would come with Frank Marshall. So that was always fun. So, but yeah, like I just think though overall though I would probably have to give it. I mean, like they're still great movies. Like I still have a lot of love. So I mean, I'm still gonna give it an A. Like I would go with A. So, but
we had an A, a C, and a couple of B's. So I think it goes B for Bourne. I think
B. Okay, we had A, a couple of C's. Okay, sounds good. Then,
all right, on to Jeff. Cool. Jeff, what do you got?
Yeah. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. How do you get lost in New York? You really can't get lost. This is a fantastic sequel that kind of people like to rag on it for some reason. Because it repeats some of the same like gags and stuff? No. Everything's classic. This is an A sequel for sure in my book. I love the Pigeon Lady. I love the Top Boy, and Rob Schneider. And with like the tip, and he gives him his gum. I love so much about this. All like, firing bricks off the top of the roof of the brownstone, and I don't know. It's crazy that the same family makes the same mistake twice. But that's Alistair. He knows how to get into trouble.
Go back.
A grade.
Wait, like how did his parents not get child services called
scroll
on
down.
Computer. Just saying.
Yeah, right. So, well, what do you think, Paige?
I think it belongs in the A section. I mean, the Sticky Bandits, Wet Bandits, what are they called in the second one? They changed their name.
The Sticky Bandits on the second one.
The Sticky Bandits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure. Yep. Might get that as a Schmodown question. PJ, I hope you're not listening.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, this one is awesome. Like I said, I don't know how the hell his parents did not get child services called on them. But no, this is definitely, I won't even say it's a guilty pleasure because it's a pleasure in my book. So A all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Look,
What do you think, Austin?
It was an A when I was like 10 years old, but like you watch that movie now and it's like it's The Hangover 2 before The Hangover 2. Like, come on, it's literally the same movie in a city. Like it's the exact same plot points. It's Kevin is like doing stuff, running around by himself, like getting into mischief.
That's the beauty of it.
He encounters a scary person that he doesn't understand, but then has a conversation with later. Marvin and Harry are doing robberies and then run into Kevin, so they run into problems, and then they have a booby trapped house at the end. It's the same movie in a different setting. Like, I like it for nostalgic purposes, but like to say you guys saying it's on the same level as The Raid 2 and Dawn of the Dead and Kill Bill, you're out of your minds, dude. This is like a C level compared to this list. Come on now.
It deserves to be up there.
No, it's the Hangover. It's the Hangover 2. It's the Hangover 2 Lost in New York.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, it is.
Well, for me, Home Alone 2 is a movie that I've seen the absolute most times. I've probably seen it like legit, probably almost 100 times. Like I've seen it so many times. Well, like both of them, Home Alone 1 and 2. Like I did, like as a kid, I had those movies on repeat, and I still do. And like I watch them like probably multiple times every Christmas. Like so, I have another show on this channel called Blind Spots, and my the logo is a picture of Home Alone, and then there's a bunch of rips in it for all the little holes that I have in all my movie viewing, but it's the movie that I've seen the most. And so yeah, like I could probably quote this movie word for word. Like it's just like so good. I love all this stuff with Tim Curry, where like he like comes in his hotel room and he's like there's a little thing like, get out of here, you nosy little pervert, I'm gonna slap you silly. And he's like, oh, he's like freaking out and stuff.
Oh, you mean the scene where he scares off the pizza guy with the movie? Oh wait, that was the first movie. It's the same scene. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry, it's the same beat again. Well, sorry about that.
Well, for me, like I like it because like it's sort of like the same thing that they do with 22 Jump Street. We're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna do it exactly the same again for a sequel. And like for me, like it actually works. Like I think that it's great, and like just seeing like the whole like the gangster movie all over again, Angels with Dirty Faces, and like doing that whole play, and then he has a house with booby traps. There's not really like I'm like trying to think of what's too different about it. Probably like the pigeon lady, and then they have the whole thing with Duncan's toy chest. We're mixed friends with the guy the owner of it there, and so I mean like I think that it's a super fun movie, and it kind of ups the ante with going to New York, but then.
Like, check the private chat. Check the private chat.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, so like it just right. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's great. So I mean, yeah, I would give it a solid A tier. I mean, I love the movie, but yeah, A tier for me. So
A tier for me.
Yeah. Hey,
that's 4 A's. I think
you put those movies right next to each other on televisions and play them. It's the same beats in the same movie. Like you guys are high.
Maybe we are.
Right.
Yeah.
It's my 10-year-old self wanting that A. So
our childhood.
Listening to him.
But yeah, so
Is
now
it
we're gonna
my turn?
Oh yeah.
I think we should probably go to the Hail Mary round.
Got one more.
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
we'll do Paige real quick, and then we'll do some real rapid fire real quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let Paige get hers out.
For me, I'm going for another movie set in New York. Pew Pew, Mr. Spider-Man 2, guys.
Good one.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, probably. I think the first one is awesome, but I really enjoy the second one. So I'm gonna go with the S tier. So let me know what y'all think.
All right.
Yeah, we put it in S tier for our comic book thing last week, so I can't argue against S. It's definitely S tier. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. And I would agree. Spider-Man. Like if you can't see my other poster behind me, I got a huge poster over my bed. I grew up with reading Spider-Man comics. He's my favorite, so I'm gonna go S tier. I agree, S tier. So Mark.
A, just since Spider-Man isn't my favorite.
I'd go A tier as well.
Right, Jeff?
I mean, I think there probably was a point where this was like the greatest comic book movie ever made, but I don't know. I just have a hard time putting it up there with like T2 and Aliens. So it's an A for me, but if that means it's an S, so be it.
All right, so
All
we're
right.
gonna go to the Hail Mary
There we
round,
go.
where you're just going for S tier. So if you think there's anything else that belongs in S tier,
You're
we'll just
going
make
for
it
like
quick.
S tier or high A tier, something that could potentially
Yeah.
make like a top 10 or an honorable mention, and we're going to shoot for it. So I may have to take a quick poll before I get my pick. How many people are familiar with For a Few Dollars More on the panel?
I haven't seen it.
Like I've never seen it.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
So,
all right. So I'd be alone on that one, so I'll leave it. I'll leave it.
Tell me
Okay,
if
so
that's the
here's
next Western I need to watch.
Yes.
X I feel like should be up.
Okay.
Okay, so never mind. I'll switch my pick. I'll switch my pick from that, and I'll go with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes for us here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dawn of the Planet.
So it's right there at the top.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, you talk about a sequel that just absolutely takes the premise of the first one and what Matt Reeves did with it, just escalating it to a whole nother level. It's incredible. I mean, you got the people struggling without, the human story of the people struggling without power, kind of in this post society where the apes not quite taken over, but they're still kind of hanging on. You got the Koba stuff. He's a phenomenal villain. Caesar's story where he's kind of caught in the middle between, being sympathetic to the humans and sympathetic to the apes. It's a great, great struggle. Good cast. A phenomenal motion capture acting. I'll keep it short and sweet, but to me, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the best of that series, and it's one of the better sequels to come along in a long time. So S tier for Dawn.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, with most of it. I mean, but at the same time, though, like with these movies, like it's just monkeys, just kind of like I'm not like a huge fan of like just monkeys walking around trying to act like humans. Like it doesn't really get me. So I mean, I do agree with some that you said, but I would put it more in like a B tier. So I'll keep it short. We'll do B. But Mark, what do you think?
Planet of the Apes put me to sleep. So in the theater, because we were doing like our double feature in the movie theater, and I fell asleep, so I didn't watch this one. So you can skip me.
A tier for me. I picked both the Ape sequels for sure. Matt Reeves did a good job.
All right.
Paige?
So you said B or do you say A?
He said A. He said A.
A. Okay.
A for me as well. A for Ape. Great movie. Deserves to be up there.
We got 2 A's, an S, and a B, so I'm thinking A.
Mid A, maybe.
Be
something like that.
Yeah, so there'll be a little case to maybe bump it up. But yeah, so for me, for my Hail Mary round, I already got one. I'm going to go with Captain America, The Winter Soldier. I think that's my favorite Captain America movie overall. I love what the Russo brothers did. I love the whole spy thriller aspect. And we had a lot of vibes that kind of flowed well with Falcon and the Winter Soldier we just got recently. So, I mean, I'm just going to just keep it short for a Hail Mary round, but I say S tier for Captain America Winter Soldier. But Mark, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm tending on doing A for most. For this, I think it's A+, S-. I'll leave it an A.
Well, fair enough.
For me,
Jeff?
A good Marvel movie, but not one of the great movies. I don't think this is a B.
All right, B, Paige.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of the best sequels ever, so I'm going B.
All right, Austin.
It's one of the best comic book movies. We argue for it for an S over on the comic book show when we were just talking about those. When I'm talking about the greatest sequels of all time as far as movie goes, I can't put it in the same level as like T2 and Dark Knight and some of these other Aliens, things like that. So for me, it's like low A, really good. But when compared to a lot of this other stuff, I can't argue for it over for me personally, like Dawn of the Dead or The Raid 2, things like that. So low A.
Well, sounds like A is the consensus, so we'll throw it down to A, and then we'll move to Mark. You got a Hail Mary that you think might go in S tier?
X2. It's a sequel that's able to continue developing the characters instead of just relying on like the first one, as some movies do. X-Men started running out of steam later on, but it wasn't until after X2 for that, and for that, and the fact that I love the X-Men, the original cartoon and the first few movies, leave it at S.
All right, Jeff.
I will also leave it at S. I mean, it may be an A, but I remember being blown away when I saw this as a kid. Yeah, S.
Yeah. Paige, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, this is like one of like the first like superhero movies that you were just like, this is badass. I remember I used to think if I clenched my fist hard enough, like blades would come out of my hand. It never worked.
Yeah,
but
right.
yeah, man, I like this movie. I'm gonna go S.
All right, 3 S's.
Solid A, because I like First Class of Days of Future Past better, and X2, while it's still good, I argued for it on the other show, so I can't be hypocritical. So I can't be hypocritical on that. So I like X2 a lot. Over time, though, I've had better X-Men movies that I like more, so it's like an A level for me.
Well, for me, I got to go S tier. Like, I just love like what they did to kind of further develop the characters. I love Nightcrawler. Like that opening scene in the White House is just like one of my favorite scenes in any comic book movie. And like I just like the whole dynamic. They did Magneto right in this. I feel like for an Ian McKellen version of Magneto, so probably my favorite of him in any movie. And yeah, I say S. So I think that it. It's going to stay in the S tier. So we'll throw it to Jeff. You got a last minute Hail Mary? One that you think goes in S.
Bill and Ted. One of the great comedy sequels. I love William Sadler's turn as Death. I like the, Station, right? And Evil Bill and Ted. And this is a sequel that you could potentially argue is better than the first film. But both of them are really strong. The third one I thought was garbage. But I'm going to put this one, Bogus Journey. Ooh,
there you go. We got some last minute suggestions going on in the chat. You got A, okay. Here, we'll throw it up here. We got a couple of duos. We'll see what happens. But Paige, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm down for an A. Personally, I like it better than Wayne's World 2. So let's do it. And whoever, I think it was Malcolm that just said 22 Jump Street needs to be in the S tier. He's crazy. That should be down like the F or the
21 Jump Street's a way better movie than 22 Jump Street.
I don't think it's F, but like I would give it an A at least. From
22? Oh man, I'd give 22 probably a
22 is one of my favorite comedies. Like it's
21
one that made me realize Channing Tatum can act. It's like was that
movie? But you got that in the first movie. The first movie's way better.
Yeah. 21, but they do the same thing. It's the same thing as Home Alone. I said they do the exact same thing. But Austin, what do you think for X2 though?
Yeah, it's no, we're talking about Bogus Journey.
Yep.
Sorry,
a movie.
Sorry.
No, a movie that I love as well as Jeff. Jordan kept trying to pull it off the list for some reason, like over and over again. I don't know why. Like I love Bogus Journey.
I thought I think it wasn't as popular, but
no, it's a super creative sequel. They do some really, really fun stuff in that movie. I think it's one of the most ingenious ways to take the characters and put them on the sequences. The hell scenes when I was a kid, when I saw it on TV, gave me nightmares. Like that bunny rabbit gave me nightmares. But yeah, Death is awesome. Evil Bill and Ted are so much fun. Yeah, like I go strong A for Bogus Journey. I really like it.
Yeah, and I would agree. I'd say a strong A. Like I love all the hell stuff, especially when they're like playing games or like playing Battleship and stuff like against death and stuff. I think that's pretty funny. And they got to beat the like Evil Bill and Ted and come up with the song that saves the world, all that stuff. So so I mean, yeah, I think that it's great. For me, I actually like Bogus Journey better than Excellent Adventure. That's just me. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but yeah, like I think A, a high A. So, but yeah, Mark for Bill and Ted.
I would say I keep it an A. Great movie. Shows us what the 90s was like. And shout out to those still watching. Malcolm, Brian.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. They're hanging in there with us. But
I think it hangs in there with the A. So, Paige, what do you got? You got one last one you want to throw up on the board and shoot for?
Yeah, man. I'm going to go with Hellboy, The Golden Army. I freaking love Joe's like, you're crazy. But I love Hellboy. Not the newest one that just came out, but I love Guillermo del Toro's movies. And, I mean, Ron Perlman as Hellboy, I think is just fucking hilarious. I mean, I don't even want to say effects because it's all like makeup design. Kills it. Great flick. Should be in the A's. Just throwing that out there. Jeff is like, that bitch is crazy. But
no, I wasn't thinking that.
But yeah, that's what I gotta say.
Sometimes Jeff surprises us. We'll see. But Austin, what do you think?
It's like a B-level movie for me. Both the Hellboy movies kind of bore me overall. I think that I just don't think they quite nail it. I love the character and Ron Perlman's performance as the character, but to me, neither movie really hit the mark. So it's B movie for me.
Yeah, and for me, like, I actually haven't seen Hellboy 2. I've seen Hellboy 1, and I thought that it was great. Like, I loved Hellboy 1, and I just watched it recently. They're just ones that for whatever reason, I never really got around to watching, but it's definitely probably soon because I just watched Hellboy 1 like 2 weeks ago, and so, I mean, that's one that's going to be on my watch list, so I can't really say anything about it. So, Mark, what you got?
Yeah, I think I only saw the first one.
Well, then Jeff?
C.
Say C, huh?
Shame you. Shame.
God, yeah.
Shame.
Well, we got a B, a C, and an A, so I think it's going to go in B, actually. So that's just kind of where the consensus lies. So
it's lonely down CD area. Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's a little lonely down
I'm just going to give it one more look. So, like, anyone can just shout it out if you think there's one we just missed that definitely belongs
Batman Returns should be in the A.
S tier.
Yeah, probably Batman Return. John Wick 2 is badass.
What's an
What about
F?
Rocky 2? Got that one too. F tier. Oh,
We need to put something there.
You have Temple of Doom on there too.
Maybe Child's Play could be an F. I don't know.
Batman Returns are the two that stand out to me.
Yeah, so I think Rocky 2 and Batman Returns 2. John Wick, I love the series, but number 2 kind of was like a low point for me of the series. I like 1 and 3. But yeah, so
yeah, put Batman on A. I'm down for that. Put 22 Jump Street at the F.
Or even 22 Jump Street in the F. Huh? I see how it is.
My apologies. My dog just took a piss on the floor. Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to take care of some business. My apologies.
The fun part of having a dump.
Sorry. Yeah. She's getting antsy. She's ready to go to bed.
Turns to S. Like, I would say S unless anyone disagrees.
Oh, you guys nuts, man. That movie's like a C, dude. Batman 89 is way better than
you think
that movie.
So?
Yeah, dude. Returns
All right, well.
It feels small. It's like the he's way more interesting in the villain. It's not even a Batman movie.
All right. Well, maybe we'll throw it there for now. And what about Rocky 2? I think that's an S.
No, not anywhere near Rocky.
No.
No. Don't even try.
Maybe that's good though. Like we might have what are the top ones possibly because
Evil Dead 2.
I've never seen it. I've only seen Evil Dead 1.
Come on, Jeff, you're a horror guy. Evil Dead 2. Come on now.
Fucking hate the Evil Dead movies.
No.
Hot take.
No.
What about Blade Runner 2049?
Die Hard 2 is the one that
I hate Blade Runner movies. They're boring. I can't watch them.
Blade Runner 4. All right, I think we should vote on the top 10 based on what we ranked.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. So what we do now is we try to get a 10 and then like 3 honorable mentions. So we're going to be pulling stuff from the A tier up to the S tier. So because we've only got eight in there right now.
Yeah, if you have any that you think belong there, I think Back to the Future 2 would go in S for me.
I would be down for Back to the Future in the S tier. I think it deserves it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's solid.
I think out of quality movies we have in the A, I think you bump either the Raid 2 or Dawn of the Dead, and personally for me.
I think Toy Story 2.
I vote
Toy Story
Wayne's
2 is
World
pretty
2.
quality. No.
You go Toy Story 2 or Wayne's World. I'm down with either of those. So
I think Toy Story 2 should go instead of Wayne's
Yeah.
World.
yeah. So that looks like a solid top 10. And then we want to have 3 honorable mentions because I'm gonna do a little poll. So I run the Schmodown Friends and Family group, and I'm gonna do a little poll tomorrow in the group and see what the community thinks. So just to have some kind of wild cards in there.
I mean,
The
I
Raid
definitely
and the
think
Two Dawns.
You have the Raid in there. I think that's like fair to have like a
Raid and the Two
solid
Dawns.
martial arts.
I like Kill Bill though.
I go Batman and Wayne's World.
I'd go Wayne's World. I'd agree. I think Wayne's World deserves a spot, but we got Kill Bill. You said the Two Dawns. I couldn't go for any of the Dawns because I never seen the Dawn of the Dead, and I don't really like Planet of the Apes. But
I will go Dawn of Planet of the Apes.
You don't think Batman?
What do you guys think, though?
with Catwoman and friggin' Danny DeVito as the Penguin?
I mean,
Yeah,
that is
like,
a
I would
pretty
agree
good
with that.
one, too.
No,
Yeah, that is like a solid kind of
man.
wild card.
They're not better than Jack Nicholson. Come on now.
Yeah, they are. Batman Returns is way better than Batman.
That movie looks like
Yeah,
it was
but-
shot on one
agree.
back lot, and that's it. Come on, man. The production
That's
quality of that
'cause it
movie
probably
is
was.
way
You
down
got
from the
Christopher
other one.
Walken. Come on.
It's way down in the first
All right.
movie.
I mean, I think Dawn of the
Wait, what? That's not.
or Kill Bill.
Or what about Home Alone? Come on, you gotta show some
No,
love for
not
Christmas.
Home Alone. Are you guys crazy? You're putting these movies on the same level? Come on.
Well, I think definitely Wayne's World and the Raid. We just want to find maybe one more, but I don't know. I kind of feel like Batman, like it might be the consensus though. So,
Batman or
God.
Dawn of
sorry,
the
Austin.
Dead. It's definitely Batman or Dawn of the Dead.
I'll go Dawn of the
Dawn
Dead.
of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead.
All right, yeah, we
Jordan,
got
you're
another
only
vote.
Jordan, you're only not saying it because you haven't seen it yet, but I sent it in your
Right,
box,
I
and
haven't
you're gonna
seen
think it's amazing when you see it. So it's gonna be
All right. We'll probably watch it this week, probably. So yeah,
All
I think that's
Dawn of the Dead is
a solid top
13.
10.
Yeah, I think we've got our 3 honorable mentions in order. Do we have to come up with our top 10 in order?
Yeah, so we want to do it in
Kinda, yeah. So we
In
need to
order,
focus
so-
on the top 10 now. So,
I
yeah.
think 10 and 9 are set.
Yeah, and I think
Yep.
Terminator 2
Yeah, those
agree.
are fine
or
there.
maybe Empire for number 1. That's kind of those are the one I'm thinking.
Aliens
of
is number one.
I think
Aliens is
Terminator-
right
Or
where it's
maybe
at.
Aliens.
Godfather goes down because I haven't seen it, but the first one was.
Yeah, I'm not a big Godfather fan
I
either.
would-
I'd
yeah,
put a Godfather
I would
like
go like Aliens, T2,
right
Empire,
here. That's where I would put it.
Dark Knight.
Wait,
Honestly,
No,
right there, I
Godfather
think,
2 is
I
a
think
better
that's
film than.
perfect
are
right
you guys,
there.
You guys
fucking
crazy?
kidding me right now?
You guys
What
are-
you doing?
We could do
No,
that.
no. Godfather is above
What about that?
Spider-Man and X-Men. Come
Godfather
on
is
now.
above
Okay.
Towers too.
All right.
Godfather.
Yeah, yes, it is. I agree with Jeff.
What about
Yeah,
Lord
absolutely.
of the Rings? Do you think? You think it goes
No,
above that?
Godfather's better than Lord of the
No,
Rings.
I think
Sorry.
right there, that's how the list should look.
Right, you can leave it right there. I'm okay with it.
I like.
I'd probably
that.
move X2 up one spot. That's just me, just above Spider-Man, but
What?
that's the only thing I would do. But
No, I like
I
Spider-Man
know.
2
Yeah.
more
If
than
we're
That's
talking
fine with
about
it.
better superhero movies, Spider-Man 2 is definitely better. I mean,
yeah, it is a little more epic and kind of he kind of fits.
Can we get a vote on
some of them.
Terminator versus Aliens?
I'm an
Aliens.
Aliens girl, so I gotta go.
I go
Aliens.
Terminator,
Aliens.
but
I
like
agree.
I'm happy with it. I'm not
Alright.
going to argue with that.
I mean, if
So
I
I
had
think
to choose, I'd put Empire first, but I know no one's gonna agree with that. So
I'll agree with that.
No,
hey.
Aliens is my favorite movie of
We got
all
one.
time, so it's at the top for me. So, like, yeah.
All right,
We
I,
move
I-
it.
I can live with this.
I can live with this. I think this is a solid,
Alright.
great list.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay.
So I think
Yeah. This works.
that's going to do it. So Austin, as the co-host, you want to break down the top 10 and then our
Write it
3
down.
honorable mentions?
All right. So, at number 1, we've got James Cameron's Aliens. Number 2, we also have James Cameron with Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Number 3, we've got Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. Number 4, we've got Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. Number 5, Francis Ford Coppola's Godfather Part 2. We've got Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers coming in there. We got Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. And number 7, we've got X2 X-Men United. And number 8, Back to the Future Part 2. At number 9, we've got Pixar's Toy Story 2. At number 10, and rounding out our honorable mentions, we've got the most awesome Raid 2, Wayne's World 2, and George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
All right, awesome. We got it done. All right.
You guys
Well,
are
yeah,
all
just-
the best here in my book.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
thank you.
Oh, so nice of you.
just for anyone watching, like we usually have way too many movies to rank every time. We left a bunch of ones out in the pool, but they're just ones to just kind of pull from. We don't really expect to go through them all. So
Yeah.
but it was a fun time. So yeah, so thanks for being on, you guys. It was definitely a fun time. So I'll just kind of go around the horn. You can tell us where we can find you. So we'll start with Austin.
All right, so you can find me all over the Movie Hero Network, co-hosting a lot of these tier ranker fights. We also have a show called Live from Movie Hero, where we talk about classic SNL episodes. We've got one coming up this Saturday night, where we're going to be talking about season 12 with Bronson Pinchot and season 34 with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So tune in for that if you're a classic SNL fan.
Come up probably Saturday. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Paige, where can we find you?
Yeah, you guys can check me out on Instagram and Twitter. Front Page News 9 right there. I also run my own movie blog on Instagram titled Feature Flicks Without the C. And y'all can catch me in the Schmodown. Boston Badass coming your way.
All right, awesome. And Mark, where can we find you?
On the interwebs, you could find me on MRCOOIN on YouTube. Mr. Kuhn, I got some videos there. I'm also on Facebook, but that you'll have a hard time finding me because there's another local host in Boise who has taken all my fame called Mark Johnson.
Yeah, he's like the main news anchor.
On to the next.
But Jeff, where can we find you?
The Innsnider on Twitter and Innsnider Plus, the world's first premium paid Twitter account, and at Collider. Thanks for reading.
All right, and you can find me all over the Movie Hero Network. We're getting ready to start a podcast, hopefully within the next 1 to 2 weeks. So you can watch for that. It's going to be me and Austin, and then my other co-host Chris Scott, who couldn't make it tonight. He had to work, but so that should be fun. It's going to be called Podcast League now, so you can watch on Facebook. Facebook's really the only social media that I really use, so I'll definitely announce it there. And then I run the Schmodown Friends and Family group on Facebook, so we definitely talk a lot of Schmodown. But if you have anything you want to promote, if you have a YouTube channel you want to promote or a project that you're working on, that's a great place for it. We always try to give everyone a shout out over there. And so for Jeff, for Mark, for Paige, for Austin, I've been Jordan Anderson, the sequel for this episode, and we will see y'all next time.